Hello, greetings, dear ones. Welcome to this online dream training. You probably have had a chance to look at the program of the training. Just briefly recapping the fact that I'm going to introduce to you some basic knowledge about dreams first. Then we will look in depth about different dream elements and different aspects of dream work before giving some online demonstrations with people who share dreams with me, so in a very practical way. So let's start here with recapping the 4 questions that we can look at when we want to deal with dreams. We have, why do we dream at all? What do we know about the dream function? Where do dreams come from? How to understand dreams? And how to work with dreams. These are the 4 questions I'd like to introduce to you as a first approach to the dream work that we will go deeper into afterwards. So let's start with this first question. What do we know about the dream function? Here are a few things you would need to know before we start working with dreams. And the first thing is that everybody dreams, even people who don't remember their dreams. They certainly have their dreams. We will see later how we can possibly develop our dream memory. But everybody dreams and all mammals dream because there is, second point, there is a biological function to dreams as well as a psychological function. We know that biologically the dream function is one that helps processing information, reorganizing memory in a way. This happens without our knowing, without us having to be aware of what happens. It's a process that happens anyway, whether we remember or not. So processing information, apparently dreams are important for our psychological and biological health. Dealing with whatever happens, images we have in our mind, how to classify that. It reclassifies that in a way that we don't quite understand, but it doesn't matter. It has, however, also a psychological function, as dreams are talking to us and calling for our attention very often. So they are inviting us to be aware of a number of things and sometimes really guiding our lives. I will give you quite a number of examples through this dream training, and one I'd like to give you right now, a very simple example, is a woman dreams that she is driving her car on a road. The car is going quite fast and she wants to brake, she wants to stop, but she pushes her feet on the brake pedal and she realizes the brakes don't work. This car has no brakes. So she is in panic and she wakes up. So this very simple dream example shows that the dream is at the same time reflecting something that the dreamer is carrying in her daily life reality in terms of emotional experience, but also just reflecting the fact that she is in panic. What is the dreamer really telling about is in metaphors, and we will look at that, how we can understand that. Just saying that she is on her life track, she wants to stop the process that is happening and she can't. She feels powerless. She has no power to stop the process of her life. In reality, when she shares her daily real life reality, she would say that she is in a procedure of divorce, of separation with her husband, which she doesn't want at all. But the husband has had another relationship, and she has to face reality that it's not working anymore, and she has to separate and divorce from her husband, and that creates some panic in her because that's not at all what she wants. So the dream is just reflecting her own reality. It's also bringing back that emotion and inviting her to deal with her emotional reality. So there is some dream work we can do with that. We will look further at the details of that. What I like to make clear at this point is that the dream function is a right brain function. You probably know that we have a right hemisphere and left hemisphere to our brain. And these two hemispheres function very differently. The right brain is a place where we function in feelings and with images and feelings and see things as a whole, perceive things as a whole, while the left brain is more rational, analyzing, putting things into pieces. To give you an example, I would say that the left brain, the rational part, works with letters and words, combines words into sentences that make sense, combines sentences into chapters in order to make a whole book. That's the left brain function, while the right brain would feel the sense of the whole thing, feel the sense of the sentence, perceive the meaning of a chapter, perceive the meaning of the whole book. Doesn't need to go into all these details. Another example would be if I talk to you about a chocolate cake, the right brain will immediately perceive the smell of it and possibly the taste in your mouth and the desire to taste it, while the left brain would think about what is it made of, what are the ingredients, is it good for me, is it not good for me, should I have it, should I not have it. So right brain function is immediate, holistic. Left brain function is more into looking into the details in a rational way. Now, when we deal with dreams, we receive dreams through our right brain intelligence, and we have to transpose this information, this experience, into a left brain understanding, because when we wake up, we switch functioning from a right brain to left brain awareness. So this translation from a right brain experience into a left brain experience is sometimes not so easy, because there is a wall in between these two hemispheres, and some people have a thick wall, some have a thin wall. A thick wall would mean that the information doesn't get easily through, and then these people don't have a good memory. But a thin wall would, on the contrary, mean that the right brain communicates easily to the left brain, and the memory is better. So people can wake up and remember a lot of what they have been experiencing during their sleep. So people with a thick wall between their brain hemispheres would be more rational. They would tend to be more easily cut from their feelings and less intuitive, while the people with a thin wall between the right and left hemisphere would be those who are more emotional, more sensitive, more intuitive, more creative possibly, and working with easily with images and inspiration, feelings, and so. Of course, we both have both functioning ways, and we can develop a better dream memory. This wall between right and left hemisphere can change quite easily according to the intention we have and our desire to develop this communication. Another thing I want to clarify with you is about the sleep cycles we have. We have sleep cycles that go in rhythms from about an hour and a half, from shallow sleep to deep sleep, going back to shallow sleep, back to deep sleep. So 1 hour and a half approximately every sleep cycle, we will come back to a more shallow sleep where our brain waves and body function are coming back to a more normal state, close to what we have in a wake state. While in the deep sleep, the biological functioning slows down, the brain waves slow down, and so we are far away from our normal wake state functioning. Now, we observe that there are different kinds of sleep experiences and dream experiences according to these different sleep cycles. When we are in a deep sleep, we keep dreaming, but of a different type of dreams. And the dreams that we can easily remember will more likely happen during the shallow part of our sleep cycle. Now, this indicates that we have to differentiate between different types of dreams. And mainly the ones that we have in the deep sleep, and in fact, all the time when we go to sleep until the moment where we wake up, we will have dream experiences all the time. But most of these dream experiences we can't quite remember because they are just like atmospheres that we cannot easily put words on. Let's compare this with what we have on our computers. When we stop working with our computers, we may have images on the screen, just atmospheres that don't mean anything, but things moving around. We call that screensavers. Well, it's a little bit similar with our dreams. We have screensaver dreams, images, atmospheres that are floating when our mind is in a reduced activity. So they're just an expression of that reduced activity of the mind. These dreams have specific characteristics. They may last a long time. We may feel that we stick into that for hours sometimes, or long, many minutes. They don't have a clear storyline. We can't quite grasp what it is about, or if we can, because sometimes the images may seem clear to us when we wake up, but for some reason it's very difficult to put words on these images. What exactly? Because they are so disconnected from what we experience in our normal wake state. So very difficult to bring back to left brain awareness and memory, and very difficult to put words on these experiences. Also, they have less emotional involvement. They would just be images. And so we would not feel strongly involved emotionally in these screensaver dreams. However, when we are in the shallow sleep stage, we make the experience of some very different types of dream experiences that come in to our mind, to our awareness in a flash. And we read them very rapidly in just a few seconds because the timing of these dreams is quite different. They're always very short, but they can even wake us up because they call for our attention. They are very much vivid, they're more vivid than the screensaver dreams. They have a clear storyline. We can remember, we can identify what has been happening, and we can bring it back to our memory, waking memory, and we can put words on these experiences. We can identify the storyline of it. So they are quite different. And we can call them flash dreams, or whatever else you want to call them, more vivid dreams. So flash dreams, and also these have different types. They can be an expression of our physical, biological reality. They can be an expression of our emotional reality. They can be an expression of our mental reality. And they can also be an expression of our more spiritual reality. So we have all kinds of different levels that they can be related to, but we are multifunctional, multi-dimensional beings. So it's quite normal that all these levels find an expression through our dreams, but also can sometimes interrelate. I want to give you a few examples. We have also possible nightmares or dreams that are very heavily emotional. For example, when you are chased by a monster. This is a quite recurring dream theme, being chased. We feel that something is running after us, that's very scary. So we are dealing with a strong anxiety. Another type of recurring kind of dream theme is having to pass an exam, finding ourselves being at school again, and not knowing what we need to know, not knowing what the subject is about, feeling unprepared and feeling the stress. This is a very common dream theme that most of us have experienced. So we will see what we can make of that, because these dreams are just a reflection of some emotional reality inside us, and we can work with that. We can process, we can look at, we can welcome the emotion there in our body and even transform it. We will see how to do that, because obviously the most interesting thing we can do with dreams is not only to understand their message, but to see what we can do with them in order to help in our personal developments and growth processes. We will look at that in detail.